CaneRod, that's for two. Pompeii, love is the place for you if you like pipes and chatting, and especially if you being merry and is hotter than ginger. CaneRod.
Hello friends, happy Friday. I'm sorry I had to do that because I saw that my buddy Mushroom Leg was the first to break through and let me know that I was not going to be throwing a party all by myself tonight. So I had to, I know he likes the song, so I had to do it for him. How's everybody doing tonight? Happy Friday. I have the Matches Memorial Friday Savinelli filled with Haunted Bookshop as is tradition. And I'm feeling surprisingly good this evening considering how I felt earlier today. So looking forward to some good times, some chats. Got lots of stuff to update you on here. And 91 degrees and sunny in Western Oregon. My goodness, Michael. Oh, pulling unwinded vegetation is not fun. I don't think we got above like 56 today. I had to turn the heat back on. It's crazy. It was in the 80s a couple days ago. Anyway, let me start saying hello to people as they pour in here. There's Jeffrey Feinberg. Good to see you, buddy. Patrick Grant. And of course, both Mushroom Leg and Michael Case. Great to see you guys. Cypress Piper. Lord Hogarth. Great to see you. Chris Weber calling in from Iowa. Fantastic, Chris. Rich B1. Good crowd already. So, yes. Cold and rainy today. Miserable. And it's going to apparently be cloudy tomorrow, rainy Sunday. Just every weekend it seems to be raining these days. And you might remember last week I was telling you that I was starting with a cold and was feeling generally ungood. Well, I wound up pretty much sleeping all day Saturday, all day Sunday. Felt horrible. Monday, even into Monday, I wasn't feeling that good. Phil Rivera, how you doing, Phil? Alex Saunders, 79 degrees. My goodness, I'm envious. And there's Stanley Smith, my buddy Couch. Aurora Borealis, most of the U.S. Well, we got heavy cloud cover here, so that's not gonna happen. So anyway, went back to work on Tuesday, felt fine. Thought I was perfectly fine. And then yesterday, started feeling all congested in my chest again. Today was all congested and scratchy and stuff. This evening I'm feeling better, so I don't know what's going on. It's very odd. But I'm happy to be here. Crafty Piping, how you doing? And there's Todd Monson. Sleepy Piper Todd. John Fahey, how you doing, John? Well, welcome. It's great to have you, my friend. John is new to the channel, so let's welcome him in classic fashion, guys. John, you're not by any chance from the Philadelphia, Delaware area, are you? Because I used to know someone with that last name. There's my buddy Tim Fournier. Good morning to you, sir. Hope all is well on the island. Michael thinks it's General Malaise. Could be. Or that might just be my military title. Ahmad Solomon checking in from Ottawa. Good to see you, Ahmed. Connecticut. Okay, John. Well, close enough. Good to see you, buddy. It's probably a fairly common name, although I've only known this one family with that name, and it's going way back to when I was in high school. So you never know. It is a small world after all. Oh, God. Sorry, Tim. I started it this time. So I had a near incident here. My wife is, well, she has to go pick up her computer, which is another story that I'll tell you. Remind me to tell you about why her computer's broken. That's hilarious. But anyway, she went out and she left me alone with the dogs, and I had to come down and get things set up, and they barked to go out, so I went up and I let them out. I come back down here and I'm working on the stuff, and it's about, oh, I don't know, 5 minutes to 8, and I suddenly realized that I did not let them back in. And I thought, boy, if I would have started this up and she would have come home and they were out in the yard, she would have strung me up. So, Phil, that's definitely an apt way to describe what we do here. Off the rails last year. Alec, I do not know how I get such a flame out of this Zippo. I used to think it was because the wick was too high. Well, it is kind of high now. The wick should sort of be at the center of that opening, and you can see it's higher. But I've cut it down, and it doesn't seem to make much of a difference. This Zippo just really likes to make a large flame for some reason. Hopefully the second floor guy will be done by the end of the month. I hope so, Tim. I'm not sure what that means, but I hope it's true. Mushroom Leg is smoking Best Brown Flake #2, the worst tobacco name ever. Oh, hut. Oh, okay, Tim. That makes a lot more sense. The second floor hut. I didn't know they made multi-story huts. That's pretty cool. After all, Tim. Near incident is an almost event. You're right. And it would have been quite an event if she came home and found that I had left the dogs out, especially since it's raining. I would have been considered a bad dog daddy. Oh, Patrick's getting some Chelsea morning going in his Friday 7, Ellie. Very nice. So I had been enjoying that Cuban mixture. I had some earlier today. Pretty much have had a bowl a day all week, and it's been a nice break from the haunted bookshop. Not that I need a break from it, but it's a nice sort of palate cleanser. Ahmed, if I show you my pipe collection, you're going to count, and then I'm going to know how many I have. So maybe I could break it up into parts or something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. The problem is I don't even know what my pipe collection is. Like I'm looking at a rack, like a makeshift rack over there that's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then there's one here that belongs in that rack. So there's 10 pipes down here that I just kind of think of as shop pipes. I've got a couple of drawers upstairs that have pipes in it. I've got a couple of racks that have pipes in it. I've got pipes in boxes. You know, you want to see all of them? Do you want to just see the ones I usually smoke? I don't know. I could do it, but Phil, that's an excellent point. And if I ever build a doghouse, I'm going to make it spacious and heated. Crafty Piping's got some HU dock worker, from Piper Dave. Okay, in his new pipe by Leaf, finished and restoring. Very nice. Couch wants to see the shirt collection. You got to wait for the Columbus show for that, Couch. Oh, kudos to Heather indeed, Alec. That's fantastic. 7LE606 from Spain. Nice. And you got a story to go with it. That's the amazing thing about Haunted Bookshop, Cypress Piper, and I'm sure that's true of any blend that is your go-to blend. You take a break from it for a while, and that first bowl back is just incredible. I really enjoy that. Like if I have a cold, I will just take a few days off, and the first bowl back is always a nice treat. Tonight's tamper. Big Johnson fishing rod shirts everyone dad had in the 90s. I saw those, Mushroom Leg. Yeah, my dad didn't have one, but he wasn't a fisherman. Stanley Smith has got, I'm assuming that's Granger in an E-Carry Magic Inch. Cool. WKR Piper, good to see you, Odie. Sleepy Piper Todd's got daughters and Ryan in a Missouri Meerschaum, Mizzou. Nice. Phil, is that funny because the engineer is still in there when the dog walks in? Sencal Angler, hello, welcome from Fresno, 91. Wow, beautiful. Odie's got a special shirt for the Columbus show. Is that one that's hopefully not going to get us thrown out when Brian sneaks us in early this year? Ah, working through your jarred blends. Gotcha, Cypress Piper. Yeah. Yeah, I still like it, Michael. It's a good blend. It's unique. I mean, it's something I enjoy. It's not an everyday blend for me, but it's something I enjoy. Oh, Tim, that second floor sounds really nice. That's a good enough story, Alec. Signalman Tony from Rhode Island. Good to see you, buddy. Typical engineer mindset. Gotcha, Phil. I've been told more than once that I'm a frustrated engineer. Like I should have been one, which just kind of makes me mad. Ah. So the reason my wife has to go pick up her computer, I'll tell you this before she gets home so she doesn't overhear me. Uh, so I'm driving home from Vermont last week, and she calls me, and I answer the phone, and she says, "Well, I did it." And I said, "Okay, what did you do?" They said I wasn't supposed to do it, but I had to go and do it. I said, "Okay, what did you do?" She spends a lot of time on the My Face, and she plays all these games, and I don't know what they are. They like farm and shoot fruit or something. I don't understand it. And she's always downloading things and getting viruses. This is like I've never had a virus, never. And she's constantly getting computer viruses. And she says, I downloaded this file and they told me not to open it. Like all of her My Face friends said, don't open that file. But I did it anyway. And she gets, everything locks up, and she gets this screen saying, your computer's locked up. You have to call this number. And I said, you didn't call the number, did you? She said, oh, no, no. She had to fix it when you get home. I'm like, okay, it's Windows 11. I don't know Windows. I'm a Linux guy. I have no idea how to deal with this. Am I going to spend several days researching and trying to figure this out, and then trying to learn my way around Windows 11 and everything? So I just said, no, I ain't fixing it. You gotta take it and get it fixed. So she took it to Best Buy, and she's paying the Geek Squad to fix it for her. But so she calls me tonight. Actually, no, she took it a couple days ago and dropped it off. So she's going to pick it up tonight. She called me as she was going there, but this story is actually from a couple days ago. She drops it off, and she explains to the guy what happened. And the first thing the guy said was, you didn't call the number, did you? And she said, no, what do you think? I'm stupid? And I'm thinking, well, you did open the file that everyone told you not to open, but I didn't say it because you don't say such things. Yeah, it's going to have to be a full system restore, I'm sure, but I just didn't want to mess with it. Maybe she'll learn something from this. It's just silly that after after doing this so many times. No, no, we don't have apples in this house, Cypress Piper. We don't believe in those. We only use computers here. Um, she has a choice. She can go Linux, or she can continue to screw around with Windows. But that's it. Uh, Fortunately, it's a relatively new laptop, so it's not like she's got a bunch of files that she needed to worry about. I still have her old one sitting over there that I'm supposed to. She she dangled the cord off the edge of the table, and the dog got wrapped up in it and pulled it off, and the screen doesn't work anymore. So I need to plug it into an HDMI on a monitor down here and move all the files off of it for her, which I will do, but just haven't gotten around to it yet. Yeah, Michael, I know. A wife learn. It's kind of like an old dog, new tricks kind of thing. Oh God, I'm going to get in trouble if she watches this. Uh, Phil, that's what I'm hoping. I'm not going to fix that. I don't mind, if something breaks, she drops on, that's fine. But when you're intentionally stupid, I don't do Windows. There you go, Jim. The Smooth Piper, how you doing, Peter? Peter's got Haunted Bookshop and his Friday 7, Ellie. Fantastic. I'll live, Michael. Remember, she's a saint. Really, Phil? That's a common problem. I know there's a lot of issues with cats chewing cords. For some reason, they seem to like to chew like mouse cords and things like that. I don't know if people use mouse cords anymore, but chargers, that kind of stuff. Good evening, Doug Owen. Good to see you, buddy. And Paragon Piper, great to see you too. Oh, that's right. The Capital Land Pipe Show is in June this year. Yes, John, that's an excellent point. I haven't thought about it yet, but I'm going to try to go. I'm definitely going to try to go to that. And folks, if anybody's in the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, anywhere near Albany, uh, it's apparently a great show. I have not made it yet, but I would really like to get there this year. And maybe since I'm going to have to be going back and forth to Vermont, maybe I can like work that in as I can go up, stay overnight, and then the next day head up to Vermont. And this way I wouldn't get charged for a show. I don't really get charged, but I would save credit with the wife, is what I guess I'm saying. Chewed through a lamp cord. My goodness, Crafty Pipe, and that could have been a shocking experience. Worker Troy did the peeing. Mushroom Leg wants to know if I believe in Bigfoot. No, Tim, I have logical reasons for not liking Apple, and I could list them for you if you like. But right now, I'm trying to decide whether or not I believe in Bigfoot. We're going to get a lot of furnace activity today because of the cold. Um, Let me say this, Mushroom Leg. It's not that I don't believe Bigfoot is a possibility, but I just don't know why we don't yet have photographic evidence, given the amount of time, the amount of people with cameras now. I hope the furnace isn't too much of a problem today. Uh, I'll continue to talk, but so I think it's unlikely, but I'd like to believe in it. Now, in terms of Apple, I mean, they lock down the system. It's great. If you want a canned computer, if you want to do exactly what the company wants you to do and have zero control over it and only get to load the software that they allow you to load and everything, enjoy it. I'm just not into that. I want to have a completely open source system that I can do whatever I want with it. And that's not Apple. So that's why I don't like it. I think it's a very restrictive, very cultish feeling system. Oh, yeah. You know, Couch, I think you're one of the people that told me about the cats and power cords now that I think of it. Oh, thank you, Odie. I'm glad somebody likes those pictures because most of my pictures are either beer or pipes, and yeah, crafty piping makes an excellent point. I'm fairly certain you're right that Bigfoot uses Apple products. I've always got some humor for you, Mushroom Leg. Oh, they messed up the new iPad commercial. I don't know, Michael. I don't follow it, but the last time I paid attention was the whole "you're holding it wrong" debacle with the iPhone that wasn't working. Well, fake chewing cords is not as bad, Flint Hill, but still, you never know when it might graduate to full chewing. Bigfoot is the hide and seek world champion too. That's true, Couchman. It may be that they've tamed him and put him into the Senate. It could run a partition, Tim. I can do that with Linux. I guess the bottom line for me, Tim, is that I just don't see the value in it. You know, they're very expensive machines compared to what I can pick up for Linux. And I mean, I can get a 10-year-old laptop and have it run top speed with Linux. They just don't have anything that I find appealing. So, but if you like them, that's great. It's like anything else. If you're happy with it, be happy. Doesn't matter what I think. That's true, Richard. They probably haven't tamed him enough to wear a suit. Poem is here and he believes in Bigfoot. All right. So I guess if you do believe in Bigfoot, you'd have to assume that there's big feet, right? There can't be just one because it's been around for so long that there has to be a population of them that replenishes. So there has to be a small community of big feet. Glen Hill's cat's name is Leo. That's cool. Bigfoot is Rand Paul's toupee? Big toupee. Couch, cut that out. Stop having fun with my senator. Paragon Piper believes in the Hobbit family. Okay. It's brave of you to admit that, Paragon. Oh, Ron, that's awful when you're both down like that, man. But I'm sure you're pulling through and taking good care of Pam. I hope she's feeling better. Hope you're both feeling better. Hope she's recovering well from the surgery. Big fees? I don't know. Crafty piping. Bigger? I don't know what the plural would be. Sasquatches. Doug Owen, I think I've said this before, but your father was a wise man. Oh, Tim, that's interesting. What if Bigfoot's like a Time Lord? There might only be one then. Or maybe he's like a Highlander and he's immortal. He's taken all the heads. Oh, Doug, I'd like to give him credit for that, but you'd have to be a kind of dumb to not. You know, I mean, flip a coin for goodness sakes, and if it was a slightly biased coin, Fetterman wins. Exactly, Crafty Pipin. Bigfoot is a Time Lord. This is great. We're 26 minutes in, and we're talking about the fact that Bigfoot is a Time Lord. And this is John Fahey's first visit to the live stream. So we're really giving him a good sample of what this is like. And I'm not even drinking tonight. Because I've been under the weather, I'm just doing some water tonight. Yeah, Flint Hill, they cut off each other's heads, and that sword would just appear. Excellent point, Cypress Piper. Yeah, Patrick, I'm not even sure we were on the rails tonight. Bigfoot vacations at Loch Ness. Good evening, Chris Cote. Poem, we tried to talk about Ghost one time and I did not want to. I don't remember that. I mean, I've talked about ghosts in the past. We even had like a ghost story night on around Halloween. Well, I guess that's a bit of a blessing, Ron, that neither one of you wanted to eat much, but you got to eat to get your strength back up. So anyway, good that you were there to help her with getting in and out of bed. Kurgan is one of the greatest movie villains ever, says Mushroom Leg. Darth Bigfoot. I love it, Paragon. Couch, I don't know what Bigfoot type things are, but I could easily imagine what that would look like. Really, Tim, that's really cool. Hey, are you much into health food? Oh, Rich B1, wait a minute. Okay, you had McBaron Burley London blend. That's good stuff. And then you saw a Chuck Norris impersonator with Mo Howard's haircut. You've got to explain that. and the image is incredible. So, and more importantly, do you have pictures? Yeah, that London blend is good stuff. I don't know if Bigfoot gets a cut from the Yeti products. Mark, good to see you, buddy. Chris has got some match ready rubbed in his Canadian. Very nice. Well, I guess two witnesses will do, Rich. John's going to make me try to pronounce the name of a scotch. I always have trouble with this. Lagavulin, 16 scotch in hand, two finger pour. Very nice. Yes, do have a finger for me. I appreciate it. Whiskey biscuit gravy at a cob. That's from just for him. My buddy Johnny Ford likes that. Colorful characters indeed. Well, I'm just imagining a mashup of Mo Howard and Chuck Norris with a pipe, and it's a beautiful image. In fact, somebody Phil Rivera, you're good with the AI image generation. Could you do one of those for us? Could you do us a Chuck Norris, Mo Howard pipe smoker? Bigfoot is Moadib. Could be. It would be a good place to drink that scotch, Tim. I'm still not going to try to say it. Like drinking 965. That's interesting. Lurker Troy's got a Rivera bamboo billiard and ODF coffee. Nice. That is one of my dogs barking, Patrick. That might mean my wife has gotten home. Dune with the Three Stooges. That would be an interesting mashup, Paragon Piper. Maui da, how you doing, Maui? Good to see you, buddy. It's like drinking 25 or 6 to 4. Thank you, Tim. Harry still suit. Oh, Flito, that's a good one. Four Roses single barrel. Nice, Odie. Timber Drifter. Hello to you, sir. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in, buddy. Living the dream, eh? Beautiful. Yeah, I hear the wife up there. That's why the dog was barking. So in about 5 minutes, she'll have the laptop open and she'll be smashing fruit and farming and downloading viruses. Alec, I apologize. I do not know who Terry Kath is, or at least I'm not placing the name. Backcountry Pipe. Good to see you, Mark. Ah, guitarist for Chicago. Gotcha, Alec. Did he pass away recently? I'm sorry, I'm ignorant about this. Or are we just remembering him because of the 25 or 6 to 4? Passed in 78. Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. So Cypress Piper, I'm opinionated on this, and I know a lot of people liked the two new Dune movies. I will not watch them because I so enjoyed the original. The I'm blanking on the director now. You know who I'm talking about, but I just thought that was such a well-made movie that I don't want to ruin it with the CGI stuff and everything. So, uh, but I know people have enjoyed it, and the other thing is I did feel, I read the book. I enjoyed the book. I wasn't crazy, like I didn't read it 10 times or anything, but I did read it when I was in high school. And then seeing that movie, it felt very close to the book. And I'm not sure if the new ones are going to keep that or not. Plus, I don't know why they had to drag it out into 2 movies. Oh, he accidentally shot himself. My goodness. Trying to remember what was the title of Chicago's first album. If I'm remembering this right, it's really interesting. Hendrix was a fan of Cat. That's interesting. Was their first album Chicago Transit Authority, or was that Chicago Transit Authority's first album? It was Chicago Transit Authority 1. Okay. Because that's the thing that I was interested in. I always found it rather, I don't know what the word is, but interesting that they had the confidence to put a 1 on the end of that as if they knew there would be more. I agree, Poem. There's some pretty impressive minds here. Me, I can barely remember what day it is. Really, mass transit forced them to change the name. That's interesting. That's smart, Palm. I just tend to wear the same color or very subtle variations. Oh, okay, Rich. I see now. I'm not quite the aficionado that you guys are. Big Country Briar, how you doing, Cole? John Piper, I agree with you. Sean Young was fantastic in that role. I like the David Lynch version. A lot of people don't like it. They don't like the style of it. And like I have a friend who is a filmmaker, and he hates it because it starts off with exposition, and he says that that's like the cardinal sin in movie making. And but I don't know. Very Eisenstein, Mark. Okay. Yeah, getting swept by the White Sox these days is not it's not a good thing, Doug. But I feel for you. I feel for you. We've all been there. So my second pipe tonight is going to be this old basket pipe of mine. An ugly thing, but I love this pipe. I've had this for a very long time, uh, probably over 30 years. And this was one of my first pipe repairs. I've talked about this before, but I actually dropped it and snapped the shank. Uh, and it's a terrible repair. Like I'm not going to show you why it's terrible, but I'm not proud of the repair. But it was a long time ago. I am, Patrick. I'm still smoking the Cuban mixture, but I had it earlier today, and I just want to stick with Haunted Bookshop tonight. With this cold, my palate's just not where it should be. So, well, Couch, that probably changed the movie a bit. Oh, gotcha, Mark. Gotcha. Okay. Did he actually wear the same clothes every day? I didn't know that. No, Tim, it's not a billiard. It's actually a very, very bent pipe, but one I enjoy. Yeah, Flint Hill, it doesn't really fit with the rest of his body of work, does it? Big Country Briar's breaking into song. Yeah, Sting in those pants was a little weird, I admit. I guess you would call it a bent Dublin Cypress Piper. It's definitely Dublin shape, and it's definitely bent. But I'm terrible at identifying shapes. Oh, John, there's a lot of folks that would be willing to take that haunted bookshop off your hands. You know why I have so many rules, Tim? That is interesting, Mark. I do hate having to think in the morning about, you know, what am I going to wear today? And I worry if, like if I wear a blue shirt today and then I wear a blue shirt tomorrow, are people going to think it's the same blue shirt and that kind of stuff? And I eventually got to the point where I just don't care. Yeah, it looks like a pipe, Cypress Piper. That's all that matters. It's okay, Jim PM. Corgis come first. Well, Tim, I would expect that you would like to experience those things given the pina coladas and walks in the rain earlier. Yeah, Cypress Piper. I used to do shirt and tie and jacket and everything every day. And over the past, I don't know, 10 years or so, I've gotten away from that. And I realized the other day I don't even have a suit that fits me anymore because of the weight that I've lost. So if anything happens where I suddenly need a suit, I'm going to be in trouble. I might have to go out and buy a just in case suit. So Doug's given a recommendation for Presbyterian ordained. I've heard other folks saying good things about it. I watched some movies after 73, Tim. I'm not that bad. Oh, yeah, Phil, I'd love to chat about that with you. Yeah, just let me know when you got some time. I don't know if black's the right color, Cypress Piper. I mean, I get that that's going to be the most formal, but I might go with something more of like a charcoal gray just because it's more neutral. And like if I go to something that's not a funeral, people won't say, oh, look, he's wearing a funeral suit. Again, I for some reason worry about such things. I shouldn't. Never saw the Elephant Man name that pipe. I should see that. Don't know why I haven't. No flip-flops, mushroom leg. No, they don't allow those in labs. I just shave with the electric clippers now, Tim. Yeah, Jim, it went downhill pretty fast. Ron's filling his Medco checker large billiard with that he snatched off of eBay. $10, nice. With Haunted Bookshop. That sounds like a nice pipe. All right, Phil, we'll work it out. Seersucker, that's an idea, Tim. Medusa Touch was after 73. Thank you, Mark. Oh, I think I've seen that one poem. Lloyd Bridges, Catch Me If You Can, yes. I think Cole wants me to get a zoot suit. Yes, zoot, yes. We're discussing the theology of Presbyterian mixture now. That's funny. Paragon Piper just takes the Nair route. Well, that'll work. I'm close to that. Nair would be faster. Oh, the old Planet of the Apes movies. Yes, Tim. Ah, mushroom leg. The length of time I'm going to be in purgatory, a few thousand years, really won't matter much, Cypress Piper. If I'm lucky and I make it that far. Jim PM, that's the reason why to this day I have not seen The Exorcist. That and the fact that it's scary in a way that I don't want to be scared. Oh, Phil, I'm not going to be on an elevator. If I'm lucky, I'll have a rope. I did think The Shining would be scary, and I was wrong about that, Tim. I know. So maybe I'm wrong about The Exorcist, but that and Hellraiser, I'm just not gonna do it. That would be hell, Paragon Piper. Was Cher in The Shining? I don't think so, Pome. The Novice Piper, hello. Yeah, all the feedback I've gotten on pipe mortar has been excellent. As long as you follow the recipe, it seems to work really well. And I've used it on quite a few pipes that I've sent to people and gotten no complaints. A lot of people have told me they've used it themselves. One guy who does pipe restoration professionally, is using it, and he thinks it's great, with good feedback on it. And I'm not saying it can't be improved, but it seems to be working. Your mom thought Attack of the Killer Tomatoes and The Blob were scary. Well, Phil, that's sad. Silly, but yeah. Uh, the house and the long staircase. I'm assuming that refers to The Exorcist. So I don't know. Okay, creator. Doug, O'Reilly's book Killing the Witches. So was that during the filming of The Exorcist, Doug? Shelley Duvall was born to play Olive Oil. Absolutely, Jim PM. Yeah, water. Phil, I have no problem with water glass. I just didn't want to get into it. I bought some, what is it, sodium silicate powder, and I have not been able to get it to go into solution, and I just gave up. So, Taciturn Richard and Chris Webber are both saying they've used the pipe mortar. So thank you for the feedback, guys. That is creepy, Doug. Wow. One other reason I'm not going to watch it. Here's my new rule, Tim. If more than 8 people die during the filming of a movie, I don't watch it. My favorite movie is not Flash Gordon's Savior of the Universe. Tim, where'd you get that from? Oh, that's cool, Paragon Piper. Um, I actually have just thinned it out with water and used it as a chamber coating, but your modification does make sense to me. Cool. That seems reasonable, Phil. I mean, it's really just you need the charcoal and something to stick it, and that keeping it simple makes a lot of sense. That may be novice Piper. I've never had it soften in the bottom of the bowl, so it might be the amount of water you're using. I don't know if anybody else has had that problem. Jim, I'm pretty certain I saw Night of the Living Dead. I'm not 100% certain. I know I've seen a couple of those movies. I'm not a big zombie movie fan, just because they all seem to be basically the same plot. I did enjoy Shaun of the Dead though. That was funny. Oh, Tim, I completely missed the Queen song reference. Sorry. Chris Webber, look into Gentleman Caller. I can't remember how much Virginia versus Burley there is. It does have Burley in it, but I think that's more of a Virginia forward deer tongue based blend. And also, Jeremy Reeve just recently had a video on deer tongue, the Cornell and Deal YouTube videos, and he talked about a couple of their blends, including one that I hadn't heard of. So it might be worth checking that out. Pride and Prejudice and Zombies? Is that one movie, or is that you watch Pride and Prejudice and another movie called Zombies? I hope it was Pride and Prejudice and Zombies as one movie because that's funny. Pipe Appeal, good evening and welcome. Peter, you and I are pretty closely aligned there. Vampires, werewolves, of course, the Frankenstein monster. Uh, those are fine. Ghosts, I'm okay with, but I don't like demons. I don't like zombies. Just doesn't do it for me. And I don't like slashers. Oh, Ron, that's just cruel. Nosferatu is, and you can watch the whole restored version of Nosferatu on YouTube now, Doug. It's a very creepy movie. It's a silent film from the 20s. Very creepy. One movie. I love that, Tim. Thank you. Did Matches like The Gentleman Caller, Mark? It's good stuff. I like it because my wife will let me smoke it, and it's got some deer tongue in it. She won't let me smoke Crooner around her. So if I have a deer tongue, need a deer tongue fix, that's my go-to for that. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. There you go, Chris. I did see No Country for Old Men. That was an unusual film. Yeah, Phil, again, I'm not into the slasher movies, so the Friday the 14th, 13th, I just don't like those. But the always being killed thing, I mean, I can't complain too much about that because I think the Wolfman was killed in most of his movies and he came back for sequels. Godzilla gets killed a lot and comes back for sequels. The Creature from the Black Lagoon, Dracula. It's a common problem. Metropolis, yes, Patrick. I saw that a long time ago, but I've noticed that showing up on. If you're interested, if you do streaming apps, there's a streaming app called Old Movies, and it basically just taps into YouTube, so it's not anything special, but at least it kind of aggregates all those together. And Nosferatu of Metropolis. There's also an old silent version of Frankenstein. Uh, some pretty interesting stuff. Yeah, Tubi and Plex probably have them as well, Tim. Good suggestions. Fargo's an interesting film too, Rich. Yeah. Actually, there's a slasher movie called, I think it might be called Black Christmas. It's a Canadian film that came out before the first Halloween film, Tim. So that it's disputed that that was the first slasher movie. And if you're interested, I can find the name of that and let you know. I think it was Black Christmas. Not a good movie, but it followed that basic formula. Oh, Mushroom Leg knows it. It was directed by the same guy who directed Christmas Story? Really? That surprises me. Oh, Phil, that must have been uncomfortable. Oh, Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is on. Okay, I will look for that, Tim. Thank you. And I believe it's Tubi, might be Plex, is where I saw Chompy and the Girls, which I still highly recommend if you haven't seen it. Don't know where Eric is, Mark. He pops in sometimes, but he often goes out on Friday nights with his dad. I will let you know for sure, Tim. Furnace is on, folks. Do let me know if you can hear it because I had to change the microphone a little bit tonight. I'm curious if it's made a difference. Excuse me. $94, my goodness, Phil. John's Pipe Journey. Welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Oh, good. It's not fantastic. I was worried because some dummy left the microphone on last week and the battery ran down. And I haven't changed the battery in like 2 years because it doesn't use very much battery. So I was worried that the reason why this suddenly wasn't being heard was that the battery was getting low or something. But apparently it's not. It's the filters. So fantastic. Armchair Piper. Hello, Ed. Good to see you. UHF is the Citizen Kane of our time? Oh my. That was the Weird Al movie, wasn't it, Tim? Nomads with Pierce Bronson. Don't know that one, creator. Novice Piper, I told the story before, but me and the cricket had a standoff. I had some old Latakia heavy tobacco that I was going to throw away, and I took a pinch of it and threw it at the cricket. It basically reacted a little bit and then ran away, and I haven't seen it since. So, oh, Phil, that's hilarious. I hope the cats are enjoying it. Yes, Rich, I think pirate cake would have been lethal to the spidery cricket. Scanners in 1981. Third Man was good, Michael. Scanners. Who was in Scanners? Was that the one with Helen Hunt in it? No, that was Trancers. Creator with Peter O'Toole. That's a fantastic movie, Patrick, if we're talking about the same one. 8083 movie that Christopher was Walken was in. Not Prophecy. Dead Zone. Might have been Dead Zone. What's the other one where he played a dark angel? It was Dead Zone that Phil was thinking of. Okay. He played like an evil angel in a movie. The heck was the name of that movie? It was a strange film. Christopher Walken. Cat, you're getting awfully friendly with that 4 dot. I'm getting a little worried. Was Prophecy, was that what it was? I don't think it was it might have been. Because there was a monster movie called Prophecy. This wasn't a monster movie. He does love his cowbell. I sent that joke to my brother yesterday. He's funny. He's still in the hospital, and he's fighting. He's got a lot going on, but my sister had to leave him alone yesterday to go to an appointment, and she's very worried about leaving him I don't know why. You know, he's a 53-year-old man. Now, he's autistic. He's got social problems and stuff, but he's okay. You know, and she's saying, well, if they need to make a decision, I'm like, well, they'll call you if they need to make a decision. He'll be fine. But anyway, so she leaves him, and he's fine, and you know, and she she finds out he's really good at pushing the button to get the nurses to come in. And it's all female nurses, and you know, it's things like, I want a pillow under my leg, I dropped this. You know, he was just bored, and he was entertaining himself by having the nurses come in, so they had to tell him that, you know, they've got other patients and stuff. And he understood it. It was all fine. But I thought it was kind of funny that she's worried that he's not going to ask for help, and here he's pushing the button every chance he gets. But what was funny about it is he was calling it his cowbell. And yeah, anyway. So I sent her the Christopher Walken thing. I sent it to him too. She is a worrywart, Michael. I think you're right about that, Phil. I think you're right. Oh, Tim, that's a really, really bad joke. Smooth Piper's moving on to Granger in his Rossi Victoria. Nice. Doug Owen coming in with an even shorter stupid horse joke. Doug, do you know the joke about the guy with the big orange head? Creator, that's what my sister was worried they might think, but he didn't mean it that way. He just thought it was funny because it was a bell, and he knows that cowbells are a thing. You don't know the guy with the orange head joke. Well, I'm sure that a lot of people here know the guy with the orange head joke, and I'll tell you right up front, this is one of those absurd jokes that I find hilariously funny, but a lot of people hate. But for Doug's benefit, because he likes these kinds of jokes, I will tell you the guy with the big orange head joke. As soon as we're done with the long face joke. We got Jay Leno, John Kerry, and Phil was insinuating something about a horse. Phil, you have to send me that full joke later. Yeah, memories are short, Doug. I didn't know how well that one would play myself, but I got it. All right, so a guy walks into a bar, and it's pretty quiet. He walks up to the bar. There's only one other guy at the bar, and it's this guy with this gigantic orange head. And he sits down at the bar and orders a beer, and he says to the bartender, "Hey, what's the deal down there with the guy with the big orange head?" And he says, oh, he's got a story. And if you buy him a beer, he'll tell you. So he moves on down the bar, sits next to him, and says, "Hey, can I buy you a beer?" And he says, "Yeah, sure." And orders him a beer, and he says, "I'm just curious. What's the deal with the big orange head?" And he says, "Oh, I got a story to tell you. So one day I'm walking along the beach, and I see this um, old, dirty, tarnished lamp laying in the sand." And I pick it up and I, rub it with my shirt to try to shine it up a little bit. And sure enough, you know what happens. There's this big poof of smoke and out pops a genie. He goes, "You kidding me? A genie?" Says, "Yeah, seriously, a genie pops out." Okay, so I guess he said you got three wishes. Exactly. And you've got three wishes. What do you want? He said, "Okay, well, for my first wish, I'd like to be wealthy and never have to want for money." And he said, "It's been fantastic. Ever since then, I've got limitless wealth. Anytime I need something, I just reach in my pocket and I have enough money for it. I never have to worry about money again." And I said, "Wow, that's, pretty remarkable. So what was your second wish?" "Well, my second wish is I said, I want to be attractive to women. I want to be like the most attractive man and have women just fall in love with me everywhere I go." And sure enough, I have to beat them off with a stick. Everywhere I go, these supermodel type women are chasing me and want to be with me. And I can have any woman I choose anywhere. I said, "Okay, that's pretty interesting, but what was your third wish?" And the guy says, "Oh, this is where I messed up. I wished for a big orange head." That's the joke. I know it's stupid, but it really makes me laugh. Okay, some people got it. The guys that didn't get it, there's really nothing to get. It's just a stupid, absurd joke. He just he he messed up. Big Dave. No, it's orange. Definitely orange. Very funny, Tim. Those Irish magicians. All right, John's Pipe Journey. Hope all is well. Have a great weekend, buddy. Brian Dawkins, hello. Who is the best Sherlock Holmes? Asked creator. You're going to get a wide selection there, but I think most would agree Jeremy Brett, followed closely by Basil Rathbone. Depends on what you want. If you want authentic canon Holmes, Jeremy Brett. If you want dashing, fantastic movies, Basil Rathbone. Not that the Brett weren't fantastic, but I like them both. Brett brought the character to life, and Rathbone brought the movies to life. All right, Cypress Piper, you have a great weekend too, my friend. Brett did some scenery chewing indeed, Lord Ogarth. Indeed. But it was fantastic to watch. The one with the pipe in the hat, says Tim. Yes, that was a good one. Sir Zenith, you have a great weekend too. And we are almost at time, my goodness. And I am proud that my second pipe actually lasted as long as it did. Might even have one more relight here. Got a fair amount of water left, but I'm not going to guzzle this for your benefit. Water doesn't count. Carrot Top would make an amazing Sherlock Holmes. It did fly by tonight, Patrick. It did indeed. Night, Phil. Thanks, buddy. Have a great weekend. We need to talk soon. Brian Dawkin had some Newminster round slices. Very nice. And a Duncan Breyer. Cool. Doug, I've read that joke 3 times and I'm not getting it. Maybe it's your revenge for the big orange head joke. Jim PM, you can get hurt running into Carrot Top. Be careful with that. Oh, there was a punchline still coming. Very good, Doug. Very good. Night, Armchair Piper. Hound of the Baskervilles starring Tom Baker. You know, John, I don't think I've seen that. I've got to look that up. Yeah, I found the punchline, Doug, and that's funny. You know the one about the guy who the whole genie thing happens and he gets 3 wishes, but the genie warns him that whatever he wishes for will be doubled for the person he hates the most. And he says, well, the person I hate the most is my ex-wife. And he says, well, everything you ask for is going to be doubled for her. And so his first wish is to be the wealthiest man in the country, and she becomes the wealthiest woman in the world. And then he wants to be the most attractive man in the country, and she becomes the most attractive woman in the world. And he says, okay, what's your third wish? And he says, so whatever I wish for will be doubled for her. He says, absolutely, exactly doubled. He says, okay, then I want you to beat me half to death. Hound of the Basket Pipes. Sounds like a parody needs to be written there, Rich. Oh, Tim, that's a long way to get a song stuck in my head, but it worked. I agree with that, Doug, in terms of authenticity and sheer entertainment. You nailed it. And yes, creator, it's interesting that nobody's mentioned them. Glad you liked it, Novice Piper. Nigel Bruce is a polarizing character, Lord Hogarth, for sure. Mushroom leg, you gotta fix that. Anyway, folks, we should bring this happy little party to a close. I am almost certainly going to be back next week, but I'm keeping it open just in case because I still don't know exactly what's going on. I will be here on Sunday. I skipped last week just because of the cold, but I'm feeling a lot better now. So you can look forward to a video coming out on Sunday morning, and we'll hopefully be back next week. I want to thank you all for joining me. I had a great time. It's great seeing everybody, and some new faces, old friends, always a good time. So with that, folks, have a fantastic weekend, and until we speak again, take care.